We hear about ocean plastic all the time, but how much is actually out there? The answer will shock you. From microplastics to ghost nets, the amount of plastic floating in our seas is beyond imagination. In this video, we break down the real numbers behind the pollution problem. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more powerful insights, and let's uncover the truth together. 1. The shocking global estimates. Scientists estimate over 170 trillion plastic particles float in our oceans as of recent studies. This amounts to approximately 2.3 million tons of floating plastic debris across all global waters. These numbers exclude deep-sea plastic and shoreline waste buried or lodged in seafloor sediment. The actual plastic load in oceans may be much higher, hidden beneath the surface or in microforms. What we see on the water is only the tip of the iceberg in the plastic pollution crisis at sea. Floating bottles, bags, and straws are visible, but most plastic has already broken into fragments. Each year, about 11 million tons of plastic enter the ocean, an average of over 1 ton per minute. 2. Where all that plastic comes from. Around 80% of plastic waste in the ocean originates from land-based sources worldwide. Littered streets, overflowing landfills, and illegal dumping all contribute to ocean plastic flows. Rivers act as plastic highways carrying waste from urban areas directly into coastal waters. 10 rivers in Asia and Africa are responsible for over 90% of riverborne plastic today. The rest comes from maritime sources: fishing vessels, shipping lines, and offshore industries. Fishing nets, buoys, and lines discarded at sea form a major part of floating plastic pollution. Improper waste management in developing countries allows huge volumes to escape into nature. 3. Visible versus invisible plastic. Most people imagine plastic in oceans as large items like bottles, straws, and grocery bags. But the vast majority of ocean plastic exists in forms too small for the naked eye to detect. Microplastics, smaller than 5 millimeters, make up most of the particles counted in global studies. These pieces come from larger plastic breaking down, or from products like synthetic fabrics. They float in open water, embed in sand, cling to seaweed, or sink into deep marine trenches. Microbeads from cosmetics and fibers from polyester clothing also wash into seas via wastewater. In surface water samples, microplastic often outnumbers plankton in highly polluted regions. 4. Where ocean plastic accumulates. Ocean currents and gyres trap floating plastic in 5 major accumulation zones across the globe. These gyres swirl in circular motion, pulling trash inward to form floating plastic garbage patches. The most infamous is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California's coasts. Others exist in the South Pacific, North Atlantic, South Atlantic, and Indian Ocean gyres. Plastic accumulates here because currents converge and hold it in place for long periods of time. Winds, tides, and eddies continuously feed these zones with new plastic from rivers and coasts. Some plastic also sinks and settles on the ocean floor, becoming sedimentary pollution layers. 5. What happens to ocean plastic over time? Plastic in the ocean does not biodegrade. It breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces forever. Sunlight, waves, and salt water weaken its structure, causing it to fragment into microplastics. These fragments float or sink depending on their density and surface conditions of the ocean. Over time, plastic becomes brittle and powder-like, but never disappears completely or safely. Degraded plastic releases toxic chemicals like bisphenols and phthalates into the water system. It absorbs industrial pollutants from the water, becoming a poison delivery mechanism for wildlife. Ingested plastic accumulates in fish, seabirds, turtles, and other creatures that mistake it for food. 6. Plastic in the deep sea. Not all plastic floats. Many pieces eventually sink to the seafloor due to weight and density. Studies show that deep-sea trenches hold some of the world's most concentrated plastic deposits. Plastic bags have been discovered in Mariana Trench, the deepest known point on Earth. On the abyssal plains, plastic waste has been found over thousands of square kilometers. Benthic creatures often mistake sinking plastic for food or become entangled in debris. Once settled, plastic becomes embedded in seafloor sediment and resistant to natural breakdown. Deep-sea currents transport microplastic particles over vast distances through undersea canyons. 7. The link to human health. As plastic moves through the food web, It eventually affects human health in measurable ways. Fish and shellfish often ingest plastic, which then transfers toxins into human digestive systems. Microplastics have been found in bottled water, sea salt, honey, and even fruits and vegetables. Researchers have detected plastic particles in human blood, lungs, and breast milk samples. Plastics may disrupt hormones, affect immune responses, and interfere with cellular function. Chemical additives in plastic like BPA and flame retardants are known endocrine disruptors. People living near plastic-producing or dumping sites show higher cancer and disease rates. 8 wildlife deaths and plastic waste. Millions of marine animals die each year due to direct interaction with plastic waste in oceans. Turtles eat plastic bags, mistaking them for jellyfish, often suffocating or starving afterward. Seabirds consume plastic lighters and caps, unable to regurgitate or digest the contents. Whales have been found with stomachs filled with plastic buckets, ropes, and fishing nets. Fish absorb toxic chemicals from microplastics and pass them up the food chain when consumed. Entanglement in six-pack rings, nets, and ropes causes drowning, starvation, or amputation. Some coral reefs get smothered by plastic debris, killing essential habitat for marine life. 9. The cost of inaction. Allowing ocean plastic to grow unchecked will have devastating ecological and economic impacts. Tourism suffers when beaches are covered in plastic, deterring visitors and harming economies. Fisheries lose billions as plastic contaminates catches and damages essential marine habitats. Plastic damages coral reefs, killing ecosystems that support food, jobs, and storm protection. Cleanup costs for beach waste, harbor plastic, and floating debris run into hundreds of millions. If no intervention occurs, plastic may triple in oceans by 2040, reaching 600 million tons. The longer we wait, the harder and more expensive plastic cleanup becomes in the long term. 10. What must be done immediately? Ban single-use plastics wherever possible and switch to compostable or reusable alternatives. Improve waste collection, recycling, and infrastructure in developing nations with urgent support. Hold corporations accountable for packaging choices and post-consumer waste disposal. Invest in innovation, biodegradable plastics, circular economies, and ocean-safe materials. Support international treaties that regulate plastic trade, production, and marine dumping. Educate the public about the hidden cost of plastic to wildlife, health, and ocean stability. Launch cleanup projects targeting rivers and coastal zones before waste reaches open waters. Reduce personal plastic use. Start with bags, bottles, wrappers, and throwaway containers. Vote for leaders who support environmental policies that prioritize ocean health and protection. The oceans now hold over 170 trillion plastic particles, and that number keeps rising. Every bottle, bag, and straw adds up to a crisis we can't ignore. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more content that makes a difference, and share it to spread awareness. The more we know, the more we can act. Let's not wait until it's too late to save our oceans.